Well, there's something that you should be paying attention to. If you remember, just a few days ago, I made mention there were some Green Berets already into Taiwan. And I said, why are they doing that? I even made mention that North Korea is readying troops. Again, all in the Pacific area that we should even be in, the Far East. Today, there's a report that could be showing why that's taking place. Let's jump into it today. This video is going to be a good one because it allows us to see, what do we know? What does our intelligence know and not telling us? And then how serious is the coming weeks before a major election here? Let's jump into it. Today's video starts right now. Hey guys, welcome to the Max. Thank you so very much for being here. I'm not at home. We're on the road. We're actually making our way to Oklahoma as we get ready for the Okie Homesteading Expo that we're going to be speaking at in the next coming days. Today we're in Missouri and we're actually going to Baker Creek. We're going to see some seeds, a few other little stops before we make our way into Oklahoma. So we're on the road. You see the trailer, the big rig behind us. If you see this today, honk. So it's good to be on the roads. It's freezing here in Missouri. I hate cold weather. I'm to a point where I'm so ready for summer. But anyways, let's talk about today what's going on. So there's been a story that's come out that said 32 Chinese warplanes have been detected around Taiwan. Not only that, 5 what they call planned vessels are operating around Taiwan as well. 20 of these aircrafts are in the median line of Taiwan Strait and entered Taiwan's southwestern, southeastern, and eastern areas. Taiwan says they are monitoring the situation, that it could cause some escalation, and they are not sure of why China has warplanes there. Now, this is something to keep an eye on. But you know, again, we mentioned this a few days ago, and I didn't know anything about this, but we already had Green Berets there. We already have some military there. This shows again why we've got to come back home and try to get some things lined up here. There was literally riots almost dealing with Rittenhouse yesterday in Memphis. New York's immigrants are threatening to take over homes. So we have problems here at home. And then again, we're dealing with wars in Ukraine and this Gaza situation. And now all of a sudden, China sees a green light. What did we talk about a few months ago? I said March and April are the times that is considered to be perfect conditions to make their way into Taiwan, because the way Taiwan is set up, because of the water, there's no access, and this is quote unquote the perfect time to see a escalation. All of a sudden we're starting to see the escalation. Now, I'm not the only one that talks about this, and I'm not the one that has the intelligence, but it's weird how now we have Green Berets sitting there, which is some of our elite special forces. Are we planning on getting into a war with China? Are we planning on seeing the escalation and trying to stand with Taiwan? This is a big deal. Not only that, if Taiwan does falter and we don't stand in the way of China, which again, I don't believe that this is our battle, what about the semiconductors? What about the technology? Those technologies are what makes a lot of our vehicles, a lot of our smart devices move. Is this going to be where we are now more in bed with the Chinese? Or are we going to be where the Chinese pretty much has power over us because of our technology? This again goes back to having an independence that Biden has pushed against. Having an independence that Democrats have pushed against. Making us part of this global alliance instead of just doing these things alone. Why have we not paid these Taiwanese scientists to come over to America and start building this technology and having semiconductors here that can run our own things and capabilities and technology instead of having to rely on China or India or even Taiwan? If Taiwan takes this over, they're doing the Belt and Road Initiative. They're also building BRICS currency, which is ultimately hurting us because the way we did sanctions against Russia. We're literally seeing the movement of China, something they've been preparing for, remember, they prepare for decades. They said upwards of 50 to 100 years they've been looking for this time where they can shine the light on being true superpower of the world. Could this be the first signs of that? Now the question is, it puts our military, again, more on high alert and spreads us even thinner. I was watching a documentary yesterday on J.P. Morgan and the Rothschilds and kind of the earlier parts of the 1900s and late 1800s. And it talked about how they all realized this time in history All these barons, all these rich elite realized that back even then, war was the answer to make more money. And it allowed them to expand the military, give loans, and it grew their monies. Well, today nothing's changed. We're still doing the same thing. We're getting involved in wars ultimately to borrow big monies that we don't have, to then turn around and give it back to all these players, all these contractors, and which floats back into the pockets of so many lobbyists, which floats back into the pockets of so many politicians. I know we want the world to be safer, but actually we're making ourselves less safe by sending our military everywhere across the world to fight battles we should not be in. So should we be worried about Taiwan? I hate to see this. I hate to see warplanes flying across. But this is the ramifications of a weak leader in America. Now, I don't know if we would have saw anything different with Trump. We don't know. I mean, we don't have a crystal ball. But one thing we can say is we have comparables now with Biden and Trump and how they run their administration. We're seeing conflicts and chaos and crises break out. This is not even talking about North Korea and what they're talking about with their capabilities of growing their military and using nuclear capabilities on, and they kind of leave it open-ended. Who? Are they trying to join China? Are they trying to hurt South Korea? We don't know. But the question still remains, why is all these dictators and bad players across the world pushing and starting to take over parts that they wanted to take over for the last few years? Well, is it because we have weak leadership? And then on top of that, are we willing to send our military across the world because we do have weak leadership? If all these people are starting to do things to take over lands they want to take over and be the dictator and the tyrannical leaders that they are we the ones supposed to stand in the way? I don't think so. But the sad thing is, this is what happens when we don't have a proven leader and then America is showing weakness across the world. No matter who's in charge of America, when America looks strong, when America has a presence in the world on the economics and when we're not looking as weak as we do right now, no one seems to do much. We kind of keep everybody at bay. Well, what's happening is a weak America is showing strength for other dictators to take over the places that they've been wanting to take over. And are we seeing the first signs of China going into Taiwan? Here's the question now. Would your politicians, the elected representatives that you support, that lead your areas, would they support a military involvement in Taiwan? Because they're going to sell it to you as, oh my gosh, the technology in Taiwan, the semiconductors in Taiwan. I mean, this is something we've got to face. We heard the same thing with Ukraine. Well, this is, I mean, the expanding of the new, quote unquote, new Soviet Union. We've got to face it. Do you see? They're going to always spin it to benefit war efforts. And we've got to get out of that mentality and that mantra that we have to go to war for everybody all the time. We're still dealing with the Houthi. We can't even handle the Houthi, this little terrorist organization in the Red Sea. How are we going to deal with China all the way across the world? And you have places like Niger saying, you know, I don't want military troops here anymore. I don't want you to use our location for military intelligence. What that shows is America has lost its power across the world. People are kind of saying, who is America? They're weak. Here's my honest thoughts. This is what I think we should be doing. We should, first of all, protect our bases all across the world. They're getting attacked in the Middle East. We know that. We've got to start pulling our troops back home and start building a military again. Let people see a patriotism and people being proud to serve in our military. We have to have our elected officials supporting our military. We also have to start having a course. You know, with me, I own a business, I own a farm, so I make plans of what's next. What are we doing? Well, we really have been just kind of shooting in the dark here in America. We really don't have a plan. We can't even protect our own border. We have our own administration fighting against its state that's on the border. Does that make sense to you? No. So we got to have a better plan. Now, this is an election year, so I think a lot's going to change. But also, like I said in another video, is a black swan event coming, all because there's a lot that we should be looking at in the next 2 weeks. All this stuff taking place. And now are we looking at another chaos and another crises with China? So we have no plan, we look weak, and ultimately our military is decreased in size and people are not wanting to serve. Well, they're not wanting to serve because there's no pride in America anymore. There's no patriotism. I don't think any of this will be fixed under this administration. So then it comes down to if we don't see administration change, what's going to happen next? So we have months left of this administration, and who's to say they won't win again? So can America overcome the next coming weeks and months? Then on top of that, if Trump does win, and they're trying to do everything they can, they have taken his money, they've put him in courts. If he does win, do you think things will change? Comment below. I think at least will people be proud to be in the military, and I believe he will help support the military. However, I don't want to send a military all across the world. I'd love to see him bring troops home, build our military back up, and protect America. And I think if we protect America and we have a strong leader, I think it will actually scare some of these dictators and these tyrannical leaders to not play games with Trump, because the one thing that everybody should have learned last time he served as president was he was unexpected. He was bombastic, and you never knew what he was thinking. When we do that, it keeps people on their toes, and I believe we'll have a safer world because we'll have a stronger leader. Right now, we have a leader who worries about ice cream and worries about men being women and fighting his own state on a border. And so therefore it looks weak. And when we look weak, the tyrannical leaders, the bad players, will start doing what they want across the world. And then our military has to go and try to fix it. Well, our military is weak. Our military is strained. We have no money. So we're setting up for America to be the one that loses in all this. That's not what we need. So should we be worried about Taiwan? Yeah, we should. But again, 10 years ago, we should have been getting Taiwan scientists and engineers and people who we could pay to bring here to do the same research, the same technological advances, and the same semiconductors, to where we could have the independence where it wouldn't matter. That's what American exceptionalism looks like, and that's what we faltered and have lost. So now, we do need to change. We do need a reset, but it's not the reset they're wanting, and we need to quit worrying about what the globe thinks about America. We need to quit worrying about what America can do for the globe. We need to worry about what America can do for America first, and that's what matters. Let me know your thoughts. It's a big deal. Warplanes flying all the way around Taiwan, and we have troops there already. What if all of a sudden, because we put these people there, they get hurt? They get into a battle. Do we go rescue them? Well, we put ourselves in precarious situations, and then all of a sudden we have to step in because it justifies it. And that's what scares me. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think about this. Comment below. Thank you for watching again. God bless. Happy homesteading, y'all.